Talk 980. My name is Les Brown, and we come your way Monday through Friday from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock, bringing you programming that is designed to change your mindset and engage you in conversations on a variety of topics that will have your interest. And today we had a mouth-dropping conversation with Tim. Tim, who's very passionate about carrying a gun, came to California, in a state where you just can't just carry a gun, and he stopped a fight. Some young men beating a young guy, and probably would have, without intervention, would have beaten that young man to death. That has happened. That's not stretching. And Tim stopped it, but he got out and pulled out a gun and said, "Police, police!" And the guys ran after they saw this gun that Tim had it pointed out at him. Now, at them. I'm not interested in making this a gun control debate, but here's what we know. And he said something with such disdain. What are the police going to do? Every day we have police officers who get dressed and leave their families knowing there's a possibility they might not come home and put their bodies in the way of harm for strangers. For strangers. What the police going to do? They do a whole lot. They do a whole lot that they don't get credit for. And we just can't have the mindset of the Wild Wild West. We just can't go there. It was mouth-dropping. And I know how angry we can become, but when we become like the people that are oppressing us with their criminal and violent behavior, then we have lost it. We have lost it. We have the ability to rise to a higher level. And so we're talking about this day, 30 years ago, that a Secret Service agent, he took a bullet, took a stance and faced a gunman, John Hinckley, and took a bullet in the chest. He spun around and hit the ground when he took that bullet. And they asked him, why did you do that? They asked him, this bullet that punctured his rib and punctured his lung and diaphragm and scratched his liver, why did you do that? And his response was, in that kind of situation, you don't stop to think about it. You probably wouldn't do it. If you did, it's not a rational act. And all of us have done things that wasn't rational. What Tim did was not rational. And there are people who have been talking about various situations that they're in. I've done some things myself that was not rational. And we don't want to be proactive in doing things that's not rational. We don't want to create that kind of society, that kind of community for our children. It most certainly is detrimental to our future. Hello, thank you so much for calling in. The number to call is 888-539-2980, 888-539-2980. I want to see how you weigh in the conversation and stepping in and intervening and doing some good. And have you been in that situation? Or maybe you have observed that. The number to call is 888-539-2980. And Craig, thank you so much for your patience. In Westchester, tell me something, Craig. What have you seen most recently?
I'll tell you what I did. About 20 years ago, I was about 40. I was in the poor part of Santa Monica. I saw this tall black teen chasing a girl about his age, and he caught her real fast, and he was hitting her in the face like he hit a man. So I stopped my car, and I got him in a chokehold to get him off of her. I'm choking him. All of a sudden, about 10 more gang members come, mostly girls, and they're like pity-pat hitting me. And I thought, I didn't sign up for this, and so they just wanted me gone. Fortunately, there were no knives or guns or anything. They just wanted me gone.
Yeah, thank God for
said,
that.
"You're choking my cuz. You're choking my cuz." I said, "He's hitting a girl. He's hitting a girl." And I thought, I got a 1-year-old daughter at home. I could die out here. I didn't know.
Yes.
So, but I would do the same thing. If I see a guy hitting a girl, I'm going to jump in. I don't care who's.
Yeah, I almost went to jail for intervening. A guy was beating a woman. She was about 3 or 4 months pregnant, and I said, "Man, that lady is pregnant. Please don't do that." And he said, "It's not mine." And that's when I lost it. And and he told the police, that I hit him and went above and beyond what I should have done. But she said, the lady, fortunately, and usually women are very silent when you intervene, and they take the side of the guys. But fortunately, she said that had that man not stopped him, he was going to kick me in the stomach because he said the baby wasn't his. And she said it is his baby. Yeah, so, yeah. Well, listen, I'm so glad that nothing happened to you in the process of that. Thank you so much for listening to the show, Craig, and thank you for calling in.
All right, bye.
All right, thank you. Take care now. You know, when you look at it, there's so many situations that we're seeing on a regular basis, and particularly studies indicating that physical violence of teenagers, young girls are involved in this. Websites that promote this kind of behavior, and they even videotape it with their cell phones. There's a different mindset. We've created a violent culture. I want to talk right now. I want to talk to other people that are calling in. The number to call us is 888-539-2980, 888-539-2980. And I want to thank you so much, Ray, for calling in. And from Irvine, tell me, what situation that you step into? There was a situation a guy was beating his wife?
Yeah, Les, this was about 20 years ago. I was in my 20s, just got home from work. I was living with my mom and my sister. Walk in the door, and I see my mom and my sister in the backyard freaking out.
Yes.
And I ran after them. What's going on? What's going on? They point out behind our yard. There's a main street, and there's some condo complexes up there that are like on a hill.
Yes.
And I just saw this guy beating on his wife. I mean, he brought his hand as high as he could up and just brought it down like she was on her knees. I didn't even think. I had a 6 or 7 foot brick wall.
Yes.
I hurdled that, ran across the boulevard, up the hill, into the complex, went into where they were at, and she was just cowering in the corner, their face all bloody and everything.
Yes.
And I was trying to get her away from the house.
Yes.
You know, my mom and my sister had called 911, and as I'm getting her away from the house, the guy comes out with looked like a piece of a stick, like a shovel handle.
Yes.
And I caught him by surprise.
Yes.
And I kept telling him, back away, drop the stick, and he kept coming at me. And so I was in between his wife and him, and at that point is when I started thinking, like, what the heck am I going to do now?
Yes.
You know? And he kept coming at me. As soon as he raised that stick, I just mopped the floor with him. And as I finished with him, the cops came around the corner, you know, sirens blaring and everything like that, and you know, they had me on the ground and everything, and once they found out what was going on,
yes,
you know, they let me go. But
thank God,
you know,
for that.
I didn't even think up until the point, like, what if that guy had a gun or a knife? What was I going to do then?
And you know, and the domestic violence is so prevalent, and fortunately a lot of women used to take this type of treatment and silence it, but now fortunately women are speaking up and speaking out and bringing more awareness to it. And we have to have men who will add their voices, like yourself, to become involved in really speaking out against this and intervening as best we possibly can without getting yourself harmed in the process. I'm so glad that you survived that to tell the story. Thank you so much for calling in, and thank you for listening.
Hey, you're very welcome, Les. You take care.
Okay, you too. God bless. Bye now. Listen, the number to call is 888-539-2980. That's 888-539-2980. We're talking about intervening, and today celebrating the fact that as a result of intervention, President Ronald Reagan is a man that will go down as history as a great president, and because of a good Samaritan, a Secret Service agent that took a bullet for him. What have you stepped in behalf of someone and took a situation on? Just didn't even think about it. You just found yourself there because you knew something had to be done. The number to call is 888-5